From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good Friday morning. It's 5:30. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. Thanks for starting your day with us.
Rob Griggs in for Ed McIntosh. Did we spell that right on the prompter? Yeah, we did. Yeah. He still works here. I'm here today with Victoria. It's Friday. This is going to be a banner day.
It already is. I mean, we're an hour into the show now, and it is a banner day. I always enjoyed working with Rob because he makes my day feel like a Friday, but I've never worked with Rob on his Friday.
Right.
Oh my gosh, someone help me right now.
The news set today resembles daycare, and I'm one of the problematic children, and she is the den mom.
He's in the corner.
Yep, that's right. She's got us all taken care of. Brett McCrummon on the floor here with me, and between the two of us, we are haranguing. And
got to keep you two separated.
Yeah, we do, but we sure have fun. That's for darn sure. In Billings right now, we've got clear skies, a few high clouds. You can't see them right now, but if they were there, you could see them because the air quality is great. We're going to have blue skies for a change today, and I don't know if you've noticed or not, but this time of year, when you have a clear sky, the gold and the reds in the trees really pop just because of the sun angle and where it's at. So today's going to be one of those days to have a camera handy. My guess is we'll get a couple of great pictures that we will remember today. It's going to be a pretty day. Across the area, light and variable winds, not much going on there after yesterday's gusty 57-mile-an-hour winds in some places. We picked up a 43-mile-an-hour wind gust in Billings, but we also picked up a record high, which we'll be talking about. Right now, right on the bubble average, we're in the 50s. We've got a few 40s poking up out there, 33 degrees right now at Butte. And the main three headlines that we're talking about today, really very nice. Sunny, cooler than yesterday, but warmer than average. It's perfect. Tomorrow, though, it cools down a little bit more, and then the gusty winds up to 40, 45 miles an hour kick in. That'll make it feel rather chilly. Sunday, even chillier. It's going to be cool with wind and some showers possible. Basically, the winds will be picking up this weekend all the way across the region. For Billings, I can't say it enough. Today's going to be a gorgeous day. I'm just telling you, if you got a day off to burn, today's the day to do it. We'll top out at 72. We'll have some sun and clouds and light winds, and all said and done. Again, you've got to really pick the days off this time of year. Yeah. So don't miss this one. This is one to enjoy. Maybe lunch outside on the veranda.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds pleasant.
Yes.
All right, you go work on those sandwiches.
If only I had a veranda.
Exactly. All right, well, we have some news, so I will get to it. Thanks, Rob.
All righty.
Our top story this morning, a prominent Billings restaurant owner is facing multiple charges accused of sexually assaulting two former employees. 48-year-old Howard Shin owns the agency Grill and Carne Brazilian Grill on the West End, as well as Wild Ginger downtown. He appeared in court yesterday and was charged with one felony count of sexual intercourse without consent and one misdemeanor count of sexual assault. Court documents state in April, Shin forced himself on a 28-year-old employee in the women's bathroom, then handed her $200. The woman never returned to work. He's also accused of grabbing the chest of a 34-year-old employee back in May after giving her a $300 bonus. Shin denies he committed either crime. He's not in jail and is set to appear in court on October 7th. In campaign news, President Trump is again voicing concerns over the integrity of an all-male election. Now, members of his own party in the Senate say there will be a peaceful transition of power if he were to lose. CBS's Laura Podesta has more on the president's latest comments and why officials say the voting process is secure.
For a second straight day, President Trump cast doubt on whether he'll accept the results of the election.
We want to make sure the election is honest, and I'm not sure that it can be. I don't know that it can be.
On Wednesday, the commander-in-chief wouldn't commit to a peaceful transfer of power if rival Joe Biden wins.
Well, we're going to have to see what happens.
The president claims mail-in voting is ripe with fraud. But his own FBI director told Congress that's not true.
Now, we have not seen historically any kind of coordinated national voter fraud effort in a major election.
Members of both parties pushed back against the president's comments yesterday, with Democrats and Republicans vowing to honor the results of the election regardless of who wins.
There will be a very peaceful transition.
There is nothing in our Constitution or in our laws that gives Donald Trump the privilege of deciding whether or not he will step aside if he loses.
Michael Waldman, the president of the Brennan Center for Justice at New York University, says many states have improved the voting process.
No matter what tweets Trump or anybody else has, if we keep doing what we've been doing, we're going to have an election where the results are not open to question by anybody.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders called on Congress to put together a bipartisan committee to oversee the integrity of the election. Laura Podesta, CBS News, Washington.
Yesterday, the Senate unanimously passed a non-binding resolution reaffirming its commitment to a peaceful transition. For more than 3 years, President Donald Trump has promised to replace the Affordable Care Act. And yesterday, he detailed new health care executive orders at a rally in North Carolina that would do just that. The president said his plan will expand affordable insurance options, reduce the cost of prescription drugs, and end surprise medical billing. He also mentioned senior citizens will receive $200 cards in the upcoming weeks to help them purchase prescription medications. Protesters gathered in Louisville for a second night after a grand jury's decision not to charge police officers in Breonna Taylor's shooting death. 2 Louisville officers were shot and wounded during Wednesday's protests. A suspect, 26-year-old Lorenzo Johnson, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of assault and 14 counts of wanton endangerment. Louisville's mayor extended a curfew through the weekend and urged calm. Here in Montana, we're witnessing a booming housing market, but it turns out it's also a boom for scam artists. QQ2's Jay Cohn investigates a new scam popping up during the pandemic that uses real estate listings to try to tap into millions of dollars in unemployment claims.
So imagine my surprise when I came to my mailbox the other day and found 10 letters from the State Department of Labor and Industry Unemployment Division, all with my address, but for other people. Jody Galgame, Annette Joseph, Antonio Powell, Harold Berry III.
Turns out each name is a stolen identity, likely victims of data breaches.
Oftentimes they're large criminal organizations. They don't reside in Montana. What they want to do is put a Montana address onto the stolen identity. So they are going out online to real estate listings and looking for addresses of property that is up for sale. And they're using that as their address.
When the new CARES Act added billions of federal unemployment dollars into the mix in response to the pandemic, scammers saw an opportunity. The result, an uptick in unemployment fraud in every state. In Montana, from June 1st to August 31st of this year, the Labor Department's Fraud Detection Unit stopped $189 million in fraudulent payments, plus another $185 million in potential payments were withheld.
In most cases, we already know this is a fraudulent claim. What the mail is a downstream effect of that. You know, we're trying to verify identities and incomes, and we're using mail to do that.
So what should you do if suddenly a batch of mail shows up from the Department of Labor Unemployment Division?
Please write return to sender on that, or NATA, or both, not at this address. And that will get returned to us. I encourage people, if they can, to stick it in a U.S. mailbox. We'll get it quicker. I'm thinking if the house is up for sale, there might be a hold on the mail, so the mail, the letter carrier is not checking that daily. If they can just throw that in the mailbox, it's great help to us.
Martin has also enlisted the help of the Montana Association of Realtors to help alert buyers and sellers to this latest scam. Your best bet, he says, is to alert the state's fraud hotline to report anything suspicious. The bottom line, if you see something, say something. In Billings, I'm Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
And Jay tells us the scammers have even created fake websites to entice people to give personal information. So the easiest way to check the legitimacy of a site is if it does not end with .gov, it is a fraud. In other news, Montanans are lagging behind in the 2020 census count. The state ranks second to last in the nation in responses. 91% of Montana households have responded to the survey. Alabama is the only state with a lower percentage. The deadline to be counted is in 5 days. The census helps determine how much federal funding the state gets for things like schools and roads. If you haven't yet, you can head to 2020census.gov and get counted. Now we head to Yellowstone National Park, where a grizzly bear has been enjoying a long picnic after drowning a bull elk and pulling it to the side of the Yellowstone River. As Q2's Russ Riesinger tells us, the spectacular scene has attracted dozens of photographers.
For almost a week now, the 600 to 700 pound grizzly, known as number 791, has been camped out on the bank of the Yellowstone River at the northern end of Hidden Valley, enjoying a slow meal and giving people a view of nature that is usually reserved for National Geographic.
Oh yeah, there's people there at first light until last light.
Braden Raisler is one of the many photographers who've been staging across the river. He captured the pictures and video that you see here from about 150 yards away.
It's a real treat for photographers and tourists alike to have one this close to the road and one that's happened this long. Usually they only last a day or two, and a lot of the stuff usually happens at night when nobody can see.
It may be a one-course meal, but number 791 is taking his sweet time devouring it, never wandering far away from his prized prey, and also having to fend off a few challengers in the process. Check out this picture that another photographer, Seth Royal Croft, sent of a wolf bravely facing off with the bear. Number 791, as you might expect, held his own and continues to sit guard and sit pretty for pictures.
It's very, very rare, so it's been an amazing opportunity for everyone.
I'm Russ Riesinger reporting for MTN News.
Braden tells us number 791 finally left his picnic site yesterday, and another grizzly moved in for a while. The story is a good reminder that it's always a risk to approach a carcass in the wild because bears may be nearby.